Hello and welcome to Bernadoodle's Barnyard. So today I am dismantling our garden so that we can put down new ag fabric and start building our new raised beds for our new garden for next year's crops. So we probably won't be planting much until spring of next year, but I want it all ready for then. So this is the mess we're going to clean up today. I need to weed it, remove all of the old garden things like the wood and the tomato cages, pull up all of the watering systems and the black tarps. All right, it's a good start. I have almost the whole thing weeded and the tomato cages out and some of the boards. Come on, chickens! Chick, 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 chick.
Why am I not going?
And get all the garden weeds. Chick, 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 chick.
They were eaten.
They are.
Oh,
Hello, today is Thursday, June 12th, and it is 87 degrees out here. Right now I'm going to go remove all of the tarps from the garden, trying to prepare it so I can put new tarps down and start building our raised beds. So my next steps will be to remove all of the staples and the tarps, and then take the tractor and try to get as much of the garden dirt out as possible so that we can continue to use it. It's 5 or 6 years worth of gardening, so it's a lot of nutrients that would be a waste if I just put the beds over it. I'd like to put a lot of that dirt into the new beds. So let me get started on that, see how much I can get done today. I only have a couple hours before I have to do dinner and chores and other stuff, but I'd like to at least get the black tarps up. In order to do the tractor work, I'm going to have to take this front fence down, but I'm not going to do that until the day of the tractoring because I don't want deer to come in and eat all of my garlic and strawberries and asparagus. So for now, I'm just leaving the gate on a swing so I can get the wheelbarrow in. Found a cool snake in my garden. Okay, I have one small piece of tarp left to take up, and I'm almost done with this part of the project. I won't get to tractoring today, but I have it almost ready to go for that. The last tarp, unfortunately, has a bunch of strawberry plants growing on top of it. So I'm going to try to bucket as many as I can and put them in water and see if they survive, and maybe I'll be able to replant them that way. I saved all of the strawberries that were growing into the garden. I don't actually know what I'm going to do with them, but as long as they don't die, I've put them in buckets with water with a bunch of plants all in each bucket. So once I have a raised bed, maybe I'll be able to plant some of those. For now, they're all here and it's a problem for another day. Good morning, guys. What we have to do today is remove all of the garden dirt so we can reuse it in the raised beds and put down some landscape fabric so that we don't have as many weeds growing under the raised beds, and then we can start assembling them. The materials will be delivered tomorrow sometime. So what I'm going to do now is remove this front fence, take up some of these strawberries that are growing in the middle of the place we'll be tractoring, and then we'll be removing all of the dirt top layer in here. So I've picked a few hundred strawberry plants that were growing outside of the garden they were supposed to be in. Everything that came up with the roots that didn't break, I'm saving, and I'm going to try to replant them once we get the raised beds going. The bunnies are enjoying some of the leaves. really getting there. He removed all of the dirt and now he's trying to flatten it a bit. So this step is done. I think our next step is going to be to staple down some of the landscape fabric, the plastic type. And once we have it all covered, that way we have a nice weed barrier, we'll get the raised beds on top of it. And then I think our plan will be to cut the interior of the bottom of the raised beds so that the soil can drain better. But that way the landscape fabric will be under the wood of the raised beds and possibly prevent some weeds from growing up on the sides, which would be nice. So since I intend on my new garden ending somewhere around here, we're going to have to remove some of the sod or possibly just tarp over it. We'll have to figure out what we're doing when we get to that. We're trying to decide now which method to use to burn the landscape fabric so that the edge has a nice flat edge, and melt it with either a torch or a regular lighter so that the edges don't fray like they did before. Okay, so end of the weekend, we got a lot done, but we ended up running out of the ag fabric, so we had to stop where we were at and we have to order some more. That's how much we have done so far. It's the following weekend. I just finished landscape fabricing the garden myself. We have another 15 or 20 feet or so I'm going to landscape fabric where there's grass over here. But I'm going to hold off for now until we start putting the raised beds in, because we can start putting them in the back. And right now I'm putting some landscape fabric down here also where the kids' play stuff is, to make that a little cleaner and easy to mow around, and so that they don't have any poison ivy in their play area. The wood has showed up to build the raised garden beds. We decided to go with landscape timbers. Even though they're treated, I know they're treated, but it's not as nasty a chemical as it used to be. It's just a copper compound. So hopefully that lasts us a while. So for this year, we've decided to make all of the garden beds 1 foot deep. There are a few of them I would like a lot deeper, but at least for this year, that's what we can afford. So we'll be adding on top of them in future years, or I might find some scrap wood around the property and just build them up with that. So they're going to be 5 landscape timbers tall, and they're going to be 4 foot by 8 foot beds. Thanks for watching, guys. So that's it for now. Next time you see us with the gardens, we'll be building the raised beds. So I'll bring you along for that. Have a nice day. Please remember to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. We'll see you next time on Bernadoodle's Barnyard.